Hi everybody, this is Dr. Swanson back with you again for COM 362 Public Relations Writing 1. What I want to do today is talk about Topic Area 1 to make sure that we're all in sync on what the expectations are for this first topic area. There are 5 topic areas in the course. This first one is very important because it's foundational. In this topic area you will start to understand and get some practice with the foundational concepts of public relations writing. So first, make sure that you have carefully reviewed the course syllabus and calendar. Make sure you've looked at the assignment evaluation guide. Make sure that you've run through Titanium, you've scrolled from the top to the bottom, so you have a good overview of what this class is all about. And then from that overview, drill down and look at the syllabus, look at the calendar, so that you know exactly what to expect. Because we're not meeting in a classroom, because we're not meeting face-to-face, I don't have the opportunity to look at everybody and make sure that we're all on the same page. So we're online and you're responsible for that. And if you have any questions, I'm always here to answer your questions, but I just want to make sure that we're all moving in sync together, and that's why I have these videos in the Titanium classroom to assist us. So you've looked at all of that information, you've joined the team, you're communicating with your team members, all that stuff is really good. So make sure that you have completed the readings for Topic Area 1. The readings are essential. Without them, you won't be able to succeed in this course. So if you haven't done any of those things that I just mentioned, please stop now and go back and do them, because that foundational understanding is really important before we move on. Okay, the assignments in the Topic 1 area are the coworker memo. That's a solo assignment. The civility memo, that's a team assignment. You've also got a team member evaluation, and then you've got a quiz in this topic area. So use the learning outcomes, the readings, and the study guide to make sure that you stay on top of all of those things as we proceed in this course. I had to turn off the low battery warning. So we're going to get through this before the battery goes out. Okay, PR writers, they have to put a lot of thought into their work. You can't just sit down and bang it out. Remember my introduction? I used Lady Gaga as the example of a musician. Okay, she doesn't just sit down at the piano and bang it out and, oh, here's another album coming at you. No, she doesn't do that. So practice, 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 and you got to do that in here too. So you have to think first about the organization you're writing for and its values and its decision making. The audience or the public that you're writing for, and what those people want and need. The technological means of disseminating the writing. How are you going to get what you have written to the people who need to read it? The legal environment involved, the ethical challenges involved, all of these kinds of things. You have to sit down and think about this before you start writing, because you don't just sit down and bang it out. Quick example. A lot of people in this class sit down at the news release and they just bang it out. Boom. And they write it as if the news release is going to the consumer. The news release is not going to the consumer. A news release goes to a journalist or a media person who looks at this, decides if it's news, and then will disseminate it to the consumer. That's called gatekeeping. But a lot of people sit down in this class and they write the news release as if it's going to the consumer. It's not. That's not the person it's going to. So all of that is part of the strategic thinking of this process. Who am I writing to? How am I getting the writing to them? What do they want to know? What do they need to know? All of those kinds of things. Strategic planning is essential to your success in public relations. Without it, it's like driving a car with no instrument panel. You don't know where you're going, you don't know how fast you're getting there, you don't know how much gas you have, all that kind of stuff. I used to restore cars in my younger days. I've driven around in cars that I was working on that had no instrument panel. Let me tell you, it's a scary kind of thing because you don't know what to expect. And so you don't want that in public relations writing. You always want to have your instrument panel and your GPS, because we talked about that. You want to have that so you know where you're going. All right, so I got to tell you about a true story that happened a few months ago to a PR team in one of our capstone courses. The team was getting ready for its client proposal. The team decided to parcel out the tasks so that each person on the team would have work to do. But the team didn't do a collective review of all of that work when it came back together for the final presentation. So then, in the final presentation, each member of the team got up to give their part of the presentation, but the team hadn't done enough communication or enough integration to know who was going to say and what they were going to say. So, for example, when the person got up to talk about research, she didn't really talk about research at all. She talked about something else. I mean, it was a completely discombobulated effort. Is that a word? I don't know. It was a completely disconnected effort because the team hadn't been communicating with each other. And that presentation in the capstone course was a colossal failure. And I can tell you because it was my course and I witnessed it. So that's why strategy is so important and synchronization is so important in PR. You've got to know what the other members of your team are doing. You've got to know how it all fits together. You've got to be communicating. That strategy, it's just essential to everything we do. So as you go about your work in this class, in this topic area in particular, ask questions of the people on your team when it's a team assignment. When it's the solo assignment, ask questions of yourself. What's happening in this situation that needs communication? What kind of organization is involved here? How is it structured? Who are the publics involved? What do they know? What do they not know? What kind of message are we communicating? Why are we communicating it? What are the different elements of that message? Have we done our research to make sure that any facts have been dealt with? What kind of tool are we using? Why are we using this tool? Have we looked at samples of other communication like this? All of these kinds of brainstorming, thinking it out, strategic kind of questions are essential when you're working on a team assignment and when you're working on a solo assignment. Because if you just sit down at the computer and bang it out, you're going to be making mistakes, and you don't want to do that. So a big part of the strategic plan of any PR work is that asking of questions. And then once you've got a draft that you've put together, then you have to go through that draft and make sure that it's doing exactly what you want it to do. That's part of the multi-step writing process that's here in topic area 1. There's a set of steps that you go through to write work. And so it's really important that you follow those steps. Remember the steps when you finish topic 1. One of our assignments even has the steps built into it. And yet you'd be surprised how many people go on in this class in topics 2, 3, and 4, and they forget the steps that they learned here in chapter 1. So when they're doing an assignment in topic 4, they just sit down and bang it out without thinking about who they're writing for, what they need to know, how they need to know it, these kinds of things. So please use topic 1 as the bedrock, as the foundation for everything that follows you in this class. The importance of editing and proofreading, I cannot underestimate that. A single misspelling, a single typo, a single AP style error, not acceptable in this class. No errors are acceptable. Now, you're going to make errors, we all do, but they're not acceptable. So please do everything you can possibly do to eliminate the errors in your copy. Proofread carefully, line by line. Have somebody else look at your work. Have them help you proofread. It is not shameful to ask somebody else to look at your stuff. Maybe it's your roommate who's not a comm major. Okay, so much the better. Write your assignment for this class and go to the roommate and go, hey, would you look at this? What do you think about it? Because if they're not a comm major, chances are they might read it and they go, paragraph 3, I don't understand that. Where are you going here? So if you've confused somebody with what you're writing, whoa, you need to step back and you need to work on it some more. So please involve other people in proofreading because that's what makes us better at this. It helps us see the work through other people's eyes. So anyway, review all the content in topic area 1 here in Titanium. Look at the learning outcomes, the study guide. That's really important. Make sure you've looked at all the stuff that follows down here underneath in topic 1. And make sure you've read the readings. Stay up to speed on this stuff, and it'll really help you in the assignments. It'll help you do a much better job. And if you have any questions at any time, please let me know. I'm here to help you grow and learn and become the best possible PR writer that you can. Thanks very much. Talk at you again soon.